Yo, what it is, we back once again, Fly Free Sports. As always, man, come here for the best basketball talk on the planet, man. This is what we do, man. We do this shit effortlessly. You know what I mean? So, as always, I got Ben with me. Riding shotgun, man. It's gonna be a goblet. You know what I mean? It's gonna be one of them ones tonight.
Indeed.
My boy Chase is back. Chase back to give his opinions and hopefully atone for some
the one and only
atone for some things. You know what I mean? So
I got explanations to make. That's all.
okay. We're anxious.
Let me save some wines. I'm gonna be sipping the whole time you talking. Let me save some.
Inquiring minds want to know. We've been waiting on it. You know what I mean? Okay. So he was gracious enough to come back and let us know. So yeah. So Chase, as I just brought up,
okay,
we had a conversation. I believe it was before the season, or the season had just kicked off, or it was somewhere around that time. But
yeah,
your words to us here on the panel were that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was a bit overrated. You say he was overrated. That style of player, it's not what you typically look for in a player. Those kind of guys don't really make too much noise in the league. And you said the same thing about Ja Morant as well, who's also been playing pretty well after his comeback. So we just gonna give you a chance to specify what you mean, or apologize perhaps, or whatever you want to do, but the floor is yours, sir. We ain't here to judge. We just want to listen. We just want to hear what you got to say. So yeah, man, the floor is yours, Chase.
I want to apologize as a basketball fan and as a Canadian.
Oh shit, here we go. I love it. I love it, man. I love it.
Yo, I couldn't have been more wrong, man. I couldn't have been more completely wrong. I have zero justification in my take, and the results show. SJ is probably the best point guard in the league to me. Just watching him play, he dominates every guard he comes up against. And Ja just showed really that he is the Grizzlies. He is that. They play well when he's not there because he's on the bench or around the facility. That's all it was. Yeah, so I don't know. They definitely shut me up. From day one, Ja with the putback, the buzzer beater, crazy. Dominated Zion. SJ just been doing it regularly, 30 something points a game, 8 assists, lockdown defense, efficient, scores all 3 levels.
Very efficient.
He's crazy. The Thunder might be a real contender this year because of how they playing. That's a real team they got over there. And they got the picks. Yeah, it's a crazy season.
Fact.
Formal apology, though, definitely. I was wrong.
Indeed.
Man.
I gotta respect it, man. I respect it. There's not too many people will. They're just, double down and try to look for some straws to grasp. You know what I mean? Nah, I appreciate it, man. The world been waiting on that. You know what I mean? So
I'm riding with SGA though. That's my guy now. You know what I'm saying?
And you brought up a very good point. That's Canadian love. Where was your Canadian bond?
I thought Canadians supposed to be polite. What happened?
I ain't even think about that aspect until you brought it up. Damn, y'all both from Canada. That I don't like that, Chase. You got to show some national pride. I don't really like that. But I appreciate it, man. That's big of you, man. So yeah, absolutely. Shout out to SGA and Ja Morant, man. Hoop, man. So
my boy, I'm on the bandwagon now.
Yeah. I mean, I try to tell you, bro.
I'm definitely on it. Pause.
Who y'all saw that game last night? The Nuggets and Warriors game.
I caught the end of it. Caught the highlights.
I ain't see it, but when I woke up, I was like, "Damn!" My phone, I got all them alerts.
Mm-hmm. They need a free stuff, man.
Yeah, Jokic is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think so. I've had time to think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Jokic is an amazing player. That was still a lucky shot. I'm just gonna say it right now.
Was it?
That's
Was
a lucky shot.
That's
Was
just
it though?
hard.
That shot was contested.
39 feet, 39 footers. Those are you have to call it a lucky shot if it's not a player that has a reputation for hitting that shot. If it's Steph hitting that, it's not a lucky shot, right? If it's Dame hitting that shot, it's not a lucky shot.
I don't know.
Anybody else in the league that doesn't have a penchant for hitting 40 footers is lucky, no matter who it is. I don't care how great they are.
I don't know, man.
I feel like the only reason hit a 40-footer, I feel like he do whatever he want.
I think like the only reason you could probably call that the only reason you probably call that a lucky shot was because it went off the glass. Like,
yeah,
the form was good, was contested. Like he pulled it, like he just knew like this was good.
No, I'm not saying that he shot it poorly. I'm not saying that it was necessarily a poor shot selection. I'm just saying the fact that it went in is lucky.
Oh no,
it's more lucky skill involved.
Remember the shot he hit on AD in the conference finals last year when it was pretty similar. Like
that was
the same. Was that lucky too?
I believe that was a lot closer to the basket, if my memory serves me correctly.
It was
a more difficult shot because it was like almost like a step back or turned around into it. So it's a more difficult shot, but come on, man. 40 feet off the glass, unless you Steph or Dame, is lucky.
I think the point I'm trying to make though is like it's becoming habit. Like how many times he gonna hit this type of shot until we be like, okay, like
he's a killer, man. He's top
one. He got to hit one more like that before I say it's not lucky. Because again, we have people. So I don't know. So if y'all remember Jim Paxson,
yeah,
Jim Paxson had a rep. Oh, sorry, John Paxson. You're right. Because there's two brothers, and I got the names messed up. So and I've been drinking. Paxson had I used to watch Bulls games fairly regularly. At the end of the half, he had a penchant for throwing up half-court shots and hit them pretty frequently, right? So if Paxson is hitting a shot from half-court, it's not a fluke, right? Like he's known for hitting that shot, right? So Joker got to give me one more, then I say he's not lucky.
No, man.
It's coming.
For sure.
Like he one of them types when it just goes up, you think it's going in. Like there's only been a couple of them guys.
I saw a stat earlier. He has missed 5 shots total in his last 4 games or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? Ridiculous. I thought it was a typo when I saw it. Like, what the hell? Like
I seen it when it was a 2 game.
Yeah.
He extended it to 5.
Like, that's crazy. Damn. Like he's setting a whole new standard for efficiency. This shit is crazy. And he's shooting like 60% or something like that. It's just like
once I seen him play water polo and how he knows how to manipulate the ball, like now it makes sense to me how he can shoot the way he shoots. Man, and his vision.
He got to be nasty in water polo. Can you imagine somebody?
He doing like behind the back vision joints. Like,
but it's like, but look how big his hands are. Like, can you imagine somebody that big with hands that big slinging the ball like that? Oh my God.
No, he go crazy at water polo.
Man, that's ridiculous. That's a sport you would not expect somebody his size to play, right?
Like,
you don't expect
like
a 7-foot.
Yeah,
I mean, I know they're big guys, but you don't expect a 7-foot dude to play water polo. Come on now.
On a side note, I think I want to go to where's he from? Slovenia? Seems like a cool country.
From
Serbia?
Yeah, Serbia. Yeah, you think about Luka. See, your mind always on Luka, man. Like,
come on, man.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm decent with geography, but all those Eastern European countries, they run together to me. So
that's white.
I struggle with that
pretty much. Yeah. Shout out to Jokic, man. Like, what can you say? Like, I remember last week, Ben, you were saying Embiid will probably win another MVP. It's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, looking at so I actually pulled that list up. So the NBA.com has kind of key sponsors like this MVP race. So, take it what it is. They still haven't beaten number 1, but Jokic is averaging 26, 12, and 9 assists. That is hard to argue against. That is hard. That's a very difficult argument. I mean, now Embiid is averaging 35 points a game. I think he's leading the league in points per game. That's a strong argument. Mm-hmm. But I mean, 26, 12, and 9. Bro.
Yeah, the 9 is what does it. It's like, damn, 9 assists a game. And he, more than likely, at the end of the season, it'll probably be 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's outrageous, and we talked last week about, SGA is I think really I think if he on the path that he's on, he's still my MVP of the league, regardless of who they actually pick like, it's almost like he's a spiritual MVP,
I agree with that.
based on what they've seen and comparing the expectations and all that. But we know MVP awards there's so much politics involved with those, but Steve Nash, Steve Nash, but
Ain't Canadian too.
More shots. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, you can't tell me that Kobe Bryant wasn't the best player in the entire league from when Jordan retired to like 2014. Right. From when Jordan retired to when he had the Achilles injury, Kobe Bryant was the best player in the NBA during that time period. You can't tell me anything different, right?
I agree with that too. All you LeBron fans, I'm sorry. Like, I just until Kobe, like you made a very good point again. Like until Kobe tore his Achilles, he was on a rampage. That Mike D'Antoni ran him into the damn ground, which is why that happened anyway, because they were trying to make the playoffs at the time. So Kobe was playing like an extreme amount of minutes in his what was that, like his 16th year, 17th year, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, D'Antoni pretty much ruined his career. But up until that point, you're right. He was the best player in the league.
I want to get back to the game. Because watching the highlights, so I caught the Inside the NBA highlights on YouTube where they cover the game. And I think the Warriors had an 18-point lead, had built a big lead at the end of the third. They went on a big run, hitting a bunch of threes in a row like they always do. Had an 18-point lead with 7 minutes to go in the fourth, and then scored 4 points in the last 7 minutes of the game.
Damn.
Wow.
Now, bro, see here, and here's the thing about that. So the last sequence, Steph has the ball. They did the switch on the pick and roll. He tries a cross-court pass to get stolen. Then it, ball goes to Jokic. He pulls up the buzzer beater. The score was tied at that point.
Mm-hmm.
If they had scored even one additional point, the complexion of that game completely changes. If they had just managed to score one additional point at that period, because if they were up by one at that point with the ball, you have to foul. Right. And so now you got all those good free throw shooters. It's highly likely whoever's on the line is going to hit both. Steph is going to find a way to get the ball. You're going to find him. He's going to hit both. Now it's a 3-point game. So even if Jokic hits that miracle shot, you're not going to overtime. You got an opportunity to kind of, to win. If they're up by 2 points, it's a guaranteed win. Like if you just manage to score one extra bucket in 7 minutes, the whole complexion of that game changes.
That's basically an indictment on Chris Paul, if you really think about it.
How so?
Getting a point, like that's kind of point guard, like a point guard be able to set up some sort of offense to get something going. Like that could be said that's really what he was there for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the guys, go ahead, Justin.
No, I was just gonna say I think there's a lot of blame to go around. Anytime you lose a lead that big and that short of a time, like there's a lot of guys that look themselves in the mirror, and I think it starts with my boy, man, like Wardell, man. Like you gotta, you the guy, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta be that guy to pull them out the fire, you know what I mean? So it's like, I hate to blame him because everybody know that's my guy, but like, damn, like 4 points in the last 7 minutes, if that's the case, like shit.
Yeah. I think with this team, their formula has been, first of all, we know how streaky they are from a shooting standpoint. And I resist calling Steph a streaky shooter because he still averages, I think, 40% from three for his career, some ridiculous number.
Mm-hmm.
But he will get on runs where there's just so hot, like everything's going in.
Yeah.
But what they've been able to do is, all right, we'll get 5 or 6 possessions in a row. We're hitting threes and go up by 10 or 15. But then we were able to clamp down on defense and prevent you from, when we go cold, we can get stops on the defensive end,
right,
where we're able to prevent you.
Defense.
What you saw in that game was the Nuggets and they're very well coached. They slowed the possession. They slowed the game down by getting those inside possessions and just grinding. getting into Jokic, getting into Jokic, getting into Jokic. They just pounded him in the paint because of the size difference. You don't have any difference makers on defense inside. And so
Right.
they just exploited the weakness. Jokic hit the miracle shot and game's over, right? That's so because they don't have a defensive identity anymore, like we're looking at the ghost of Klay Thompson. Like you could tell he's not the same dude. I mean, he had made some big shots. I think he had a decent game last night.
Yeah, that was one of his
just
better games yesterday.
But you can just tell in his body language that there's something emotional, psychologically off with him, where he's just not locked in.
It feels like a lot of what's going on with Klay is mental almost, because he seems like once he first came back from that surgery, I remember I was asking myself, why is Klay like shooting like that? He don't take them kind of shots, like just trying to force action and just trying to do a lot of that. Like he just came out the gate like that once he first came back from injury.
Yeah, I agree with that. A lot of the things he does, that's a good point. A lot of the things he does seem forced, especially his shot selection. It's just like it's nothing really in rhythm. It's just kind of like I'm gonna get mine. It comes off as that.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna get my points regardless. But you're really shooting your team out the game on a nightly basis. So just
the last sequence when Steph had the turnover, the Warriors were being uncharacteristic. Like their offense, it goes off of player movement, like moving without the ball, creating switches, getting opportunities, strong side, weak side. That last sequence, you basically had Klay and another guy like stacked up on top of each other on the left side. So obviously you can't get a pass in, and the defense already rotated that side. Jamal Murray was kind of doing in between defense between Wiggins in the corner and Paul at the key. Steph, rather than passing it to Paul, who was wide open, tried to do the cross-court pass, and that's when Murray broke it up. And so I don't want to play too much into that. But you got Chris Paul wide open right there, right? If game is tied, Chris doesn't have to take the three-pointer. Like, this is one of the great point guards, contemporary point guards in our era, right? Why aren't you passing it to the open man if they're doubling on you and see if you can get a back door or something, get a foul, anything, right? Like, why the cross court pass? So split second decisions, don't want to second guess, multiple time MVP, but I think there might be something there. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't really know what to think about the Warriors. I think it's at the point where they need to blow that thing up, man.
Is that time?
Because well, Klay, I think Klay is already about to be gone anyway because he's a free agent and they're not going to pay him. I think we talked about that before. They're not going to pay him what he wants to be paid anyway.
Right.
So I think that's pretty much over. Now they have to figure out what they're going to do with Draymond because that's a whole separate issue. Like before we even get to being on the floor, you know what I mean? So I think they're gonna have to figure that shit out too, because that's a lingering problem. It's gonna keep happening. It's not like he's gonna come back from suspension. He's gonna be good for 20 games. And he's gonna kick somebody in the nuts. Then what? Like,
so out of there.
Yeah, he gotta go. They gotta go.
So the game against the Nuggets was the 11th game that he's missed. Chase, you weren't here last time last show we had. I predicted that Draymond probably wouldn't be back until close to the All-Star break, which would be, I estimated at 25, 30 games. I actually counted it today. If he came back at the All-Star break, he would have missed a total of 33 games. Now, the reports that I just read are he's going to be coming back to the facility, they say imminently, or in a few days, to start getting himself back into playing shape.
Okay.
And then Adam Silver is going to make a final decision on what his reinstatement is going to be. So I figure if it's going to be a week before he gets back into the facility, I don't know what a good estimate is for him to get back into playing shape. I would say 2 weeks is probably a good minimum baseline to start from. You're already at the end of the month. Right.
So that's close to your timeline right there.
So that's like pushing 20 games.
They'll be pushing 20 games at that point. So, and like I said before, the NBA isn't going to want to distract. They don't want the announcement of Draymond's return to distract from the All-Star break. So I think they're going to announce his return, probably a week before. He'll either rejoin or he'll rejoin after the All-Star break. But I think they want to bury that news line so that it doesn't distract, the All-Star festivities.
Is Draymond an All-Star this year? Y'all think?
No,
Shit.
no way. Hell no. You know
Not
what?
even grandfathered in there.
Nah, man.
Nah.
And Draymond, it's not even like, some guys, they like, let's just take Ja Morant, for example. Ja Morant hasn't played, but he brings a certain level of entertainment. So he's going to be in the All-Star game regardless. Like, they know
That's
he about
true.
to do the crazy dunks and shit. Like, Draymond don't bring that. He don't
He needs
bring
an excellent season to
right.
get in
He
the
got to
All-Star.
have the numbers. Like,
Yeah.
certain guys don't even need numbers to be an All-Star. They just know they're going to bring the entertainment value. So,
Yeah.
Draymond, nah.
Ja's one of those guys that gets in through fan voting. Right.
Yeah,
the starters get named through fan. I believe that's still the case, unless it changed recently.
I think that's
But
what it is.
the 5 players at positions that get the most fan, like I think they do like backcourt and front court now. So the best players in backcourt and front court from a fan, or the most votes from a fan standpoint, automatically get locked in. So players like Draymond have never led, as far as I know, never led fan voting. It's always been like, okay, now it's a secondary, whatever their secondary process is.
Okay. Coaches.
Which I think is coaches.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I can't imagine a single coach in the league voting for Draymond to be an All-Star, especially Steve Kerr.
How many All-Stars does Draymond
Especially Steve
have?
Kerr.
Maybe 2, 3. No, I think if we really got to think about it, he got to be like at least a 4-time All-Star. So
It's probably something like that, 4 or 5
during that run.
Yeah, because I mean that's just off the muscle though, off the Golden State muscle. Like I don't see it because that's another that's a whole other topic right there with Draymond Green, like the Hall of Fame and all that. It's like
he has to be in there. They don't win none of those without him. Yeah, he gonna make it. Like he has to be in there, but he's well deserved in there. I think it's not. I don't think it should be like. I get it. He was never meant to be the stats guy, but what he became for Golden State.
Yeah, like you look at it from that aspect. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer, but from
if Dennis Rodman's in the Hall of Fame, then Draymond's in the Hall of Fame.
Like an individual player ass, like he don't have Hall of Fame talent, but he's a Hall of Famer though.
I think so. NBA Hall of Fame. NBA Hall of Fame comparatively.
There ain't even no NBA Hall of Fame. It's the basketball.
Basketball Hall of Fame. It is relatively lenient when you look at other sports. Like the Baseball Hall of Fame, it is extremely difficult to get into the Baseball Hall of Fame. We've only had one unanimous vote for the Hall of Fame, and that was Mariano Rivera. Like that's like, how the hell do you not unanimously vote Cal Ripken? Like how do you not Babe Ruth? How do you not unanimously vote Babe fucking Ruth in the Hall of, like? And
what would be the reason? I didn't know it was like that though. Baseball, I know they're stingy with their Hall of Fame.
Baseball is just like a strictly numbers thing. Like if you don't have a certain, you don't have the certain numbers, you're not getting in. Like
it's also writers have vendettas. So the baseball writers are have a lot of control in the baseball votes, and some writers will specifically not vote for a shoe-in because they didn't want to break the streak of nobody being a unanimous vote for the Hall of Fame. So it's just basically off a principle. But like, dude, Ken Griffey Jr., like, bro, like,
yeah, crazy.
Come on, man. Like, how do you do this? Now, I'm not a big baseball fan, so I was gonna say Derek Jeter, but hardcore baseball people will say Derek Jeter had a lot of weaknesses in his game.
Man.
He just had amazing hands, and he was a really good hitter, which is what got him in the Hall of Fame.
They're gonna have to watch their mouth about Jeter. Well, I don't play about Jeter, man. If it's one baseball player, I don't play about Derek Jeter.
Listen, I love Derek Jeter. People that know baseball better than I will say that for a shortstop, his athleticism in terms of his speed, his ability to catch and field was not elite, but he had great hands and he was a very good hitter. Clutch. And that's what got him in the Hall of Fame. He was clutch. Yeah. In the key moments, he's going to make the right throw, right? He may not get to the ball as fast, but if he gets to the ball, it's going to the right place.
Jeter cutting off passes from the outfield, flipping it to home. Come on.
That's the highlights. That's all I know about baseball.
Great hands, excellent decision making, like clutch performances. Yeah, all of that. Just not a great, not very. He's not anywhere near the most athletic shortstop, according to people who have told who are telling me. But this is a basketball show, so I'm not gonna go too far off on that. But I love me some Jeter.
Yeah. But
Also,
Draymond,
more thing about Jeter. More athletes need to follow his life plan.
that's not gonna happen.
Have your career first, then marry you a supermodel and have your kids after you retire. Don't be trying to do this whole Giselle Bundchen in the middle of my career and all that. No,
Like
you
Travis
focus
Kelce.
on baseball first,
my
then
God.
get your supermodel and have your kids. All right, that's it.
Yeah, we done got that Travis Kelce. I hate to bring it now to football, but damn, I'm so tired of seeing Taylor Swift on my TV. I can't even watch the Chiefs play without seeing
she
her in the
riding for
fucking
her
press
man,
box.
man. I love it.
I'm so
She
sick of
riding
that
for her
shit.
man.
I don't. I can't imagine how that isn't affecting his play.
It's affecting the whole team. It looked like because they're not
Like,
even
it's
good
just-
no more.
It's a massive distract because she's a bigger star than anybody on that team easily, right? She eclipses Patrick Mahomes in terms of her popularity.
Fact.
So that's a massive distraction to the whole team when she's in the building because now all the attention is on her. Like how does that not affect your ability to get up and to like play a game? Like I don't know. I try not to. I'm just a corporate robot, right?
I played better when my girl was in the stands and stuff when I used to hoop.
I
played better.
No,
same
I don't know.
Moms was there, say mom's pulling up to the game.
Well, I only have one example of this. It has nothing to do with sports. I was at karaoke one night. This was a couple years ago.
Went crazy.
And no, was that?
So you
went crazy, did you?
So, I'm a decent singer, right? Justin has witnessed this. I'm a decent singer. And I have my songs that I do. But I was attempting, Smoking Out the Window. I had never tried that song before, but it was late at night. I knew I didn't have the voice for it. But like 30 minutes before I got to do the song, this attractive young woman walks into the bar where we were. And apparently somebody I was with knew her because she was one of his students formerly in middle school. But it was like 10 years ago. Now she's like 22, 23. She walks in. She's a nice looking young woman, right? Now, I do not want this woman. I'm not trying to pursue her. Like, yeah, I don't play that. But like biologically, when I got up to sing, it was almost like this instinct saying that I need to put on my best performance to impress the pretty girl. That was like the instinct that kind of took over when I started singing. I did terrible. that was not it because now I'm pushing too hard. So for me, I don't know if sports is any different, but I perform worse when there's pretty girls.
It's the same. It's the same. You gotta have ice water in your veins.
Perfectly.
Yeah, you gotta have ice water in your veins, though, man. You can't. You never. That's my thing. You never let them see you sweat, man. I'm too cool for that shit. Like I'm gonna make it look. Even if I'm nervous, like you would never know. Like
right. Yeah.
So yeah,
I've heard Jalen Rose talk about how you'll be at a game and like your wife would be sitting on one side of the stands and your girlfriend be sitting on the other side. Like,
now, that's different.
Yeah,
that's different. That's a different level of pressure. I ain't never experienced no shit like that. But
I'm 2 for 13.
Yeah, that's a little different. I'm finna miss everything. First of all, I'm gonna be looking up in the stands when I'm shooting. Like, nah,
yeah, multiple dealing with multiple women at one time. I will never understand that.
I mean, that's one thing. But
not when you got a wife. When you got a long-term partner, there's so much energy and focus that goes into them. I can't even imagine trying to split attention between a long-term partner and a girlfriend. Now, if you just got 2-3 hoes and you give them 2-3 hours a week, okay, I can understand that. But you got a main squeeze and you trying to divide your attention with another.
I caught myself trying to have an affair once.
Nigga said an affair.
This was back when you could when people could jump on a call. I got put on 3-way.
Oh yeah, that's the worst. Yeah,
I flew straight ever since. That was early 20s.
That nigga said an affair. That nigga had an affair in his 20s. That's crazy. Affair start at 40, nigga. Like that's a grown nigga.
I got mine out the way early, man. Like 2 dates in 1 day type affair. Like, yo,
that's crazy.
I don't know who I thought I was. I don't know who I thought.
I mean, I've dated two women at the same time before.
I got
That
pressure.
didn't know about each other. I've done that before I met your sister. Like this is before.
Hey,
all that.
that ain't for me. Hey, look, that's something you got to deal.
Oh no, she already knows, so I ain't worried about her. She already knows the story.
Okay, I'm just listening.
But
you know what
I
I mean?
mean,
Like I don't live there. You know what I mean? So
now she know. But I mean that was casual. That wasn't no relationship. We was just hanging out. I've done that before.
I had two girlfriends. I was going steady with two.
Damn.
Going steady. This nigga's pulling out all the words. Going steady and having affairs.
That's the era was. Like, let me hold you era. Like it was on them times.
Nigga, all you was doing was working and juggling. You wasn't playing no video games. You ain't have no hobbies.
If I'm gonna have two, they're gonna be under the same roof, buddy. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing all that sneaking and all that shit. Like,
that's what bothers me about this Nick Cannon situation. Like you got to bring all them. Don't you want all your kids under the same roof? Like you can't figure out how to build a compound for all them hoes. Like you just gonna spread them all around the country like that? Like
got a cul-de-sac somewhere,
and then you can't have a
exactly
right. Exactly.
That's how they did in the Bible. They had compounds, and all the different women had their little families in a little different area of the house.
Right.
And you just go around and do what you do, man. Have you or your harem, y'all sit on the same property. That way your kids can grow up together.
Right. And because there's no way you can have a personal relationship with you can't get to know all your kids if they scattered around like that. Like there's no way.
Bro. No way.
So yeah, we done got way like into other shit. But this is an interesting thing I wanted to get y'all take on y'all favorites. We talking about all time favorites. Your favorite point guard, favorite shooting guard, favorite power forward, and favorite center of all time. Not the best, not who you think the best is, but your personal favorite. Like I like watching this nigga, or you know what I mean, like that type of thing. So we gonna kick this off. Ben, who you got?
So we're going through like all of ours at once and then going around.
Yes, sir.
So I was like, okay, how am I going to answer this? So I picked my favorites based on the players at these positions that I enjoy watching the most and whose personalities I identify with the best. That combination. Point guard is very difficult. I'm going to go with Steph Curry because
surprise me.
He is a unicorn in so many ways. Like, of course, he's known for being the greatest shooter all time. I don't. There's no dispute in my mind. There's no shooter ever in the history of the NBA better than Steph Curry. He's the best already. But his ability to get separation and to get off good shots, in spite of his lack of like genetics, is ridiculous. Like, it's just a dedication to his craft and training and practice. Mm-hmm. Like you could tell he's just a maniac in practice. It's just a sight to behold. It's so poetic to watch him play basketball and how he's able to do the things he's able to do. It's so impressive, and it's very inspiring to see someone with such a relatively limited athletic skill set to do the things that he does. It's very reminiscent of Larry Bird, who's not on my list. Like, and when you think of like success to athleticism ratio, Larry Bird is at the top of any list you would ever want to do, because he was not athletic, could barely jump, but top 10 greatest player of all time, right? So I got Steph at point guard. Shooting guard probably surprised a lot of you. I don't think he's the best shooting guard of all time, but he was my favorite to watch. I'm going with Kobe Bryant. Kobe. So Michael Jordan admitted in interviews that around the first half of his career, he relied almost solely on his athletic ability to win games and to have success. He didn't really learn to incorporate the mental aspects of the game until like the 90s, when they started their championship run. And he actually credited the Pistons with helping him to learn how to build that physical and mental toughness, right? But he didn't develop that until a few years into his career. Kobe had that mentality from day one. Like, he from day one he was a killer. He wanted to be the best. Like, you and just he was on a mission, right? He
Air
was just
balls be damn.
he was determined. Like he's like Batman. He has like an indomitable will. Like you're not going to outwill Kobe Bryant. Nobody, right?
No.
And just playing with the edge. Like I've never seen a player that can just play and maintain an edge the way that Kobe could. Like, I mean, that's why we call him the Mamba, right? He just has that edge all the time. There's no off button with him at all. And it's inspiring to see somebody play with that much intensity. And there's never been a player in the NBA more competitive than Kobe Bryant. Like just a dog, right? Just a dog.
Michael Jordan's close second in competitiveness.
So I would say that they're equal.
Okay,
I don't think you could say one is more so than the other. And
in-game
obviously Kobe was that
like in-game competitiveness or like overall competitiveness.
So the thing, well, first of all, like MJ already said that Kobe stole all his moves. So we know that Mike was a huge, like Mike said that. We know that Mike was a huge inspiration to Kobe. Right? Oh, yeah. You can look at his moveset and tell. But Kobe was such a student of the game that he incorporated things in his game that Mike didn't. Like Kobe would incorporate like pump fakes from like old school 70s and 80s players that Mike didn't really do as much. And he was such a student of the game. He wanted to pick up on like little things. He talked about how he would study how he would look at the positions that referees are supposed to be on the floor. And so he knew where the blind spots were on the floor based on where the refs were. So he knew he could get away with certain things at certain spots on the floor. Mm-hmm. Like, bro, have you ever heard a basketball player talk about basketball like that? Like, he's Batman. He's Batman. So yeah, Kobe's my favorite for that reason. Power forward, probably not a surprise to y'all. It's Charles Barkley. My favorite power forward of all time. I actually formerly own one of his jerseys. I sold it to a friend of mine. Chuck was he's just a loose cannon. He's just a wildfire blazing out of control all the time. Like it just, again, 6'4.5", and how he was able to dominate the low post.
A 6'4" power forward is insane.
6'4" power. I mean, just let that sink in for a minute. Like, just hit the way he was able to dominate the low post. Is just outrageous. And then, like, just the antics, spitting on fans. He got protests against him because they had a bad loss one night, and he came back to the press conference like, man, I just feel like going home and beating my wife. You can't be saying shit like that, Chuck. You can't be saying shit like that. Now that was the 80s where you could kind of get away with saying stuff like that.
You say that shit today if you want to, boy. You out of there.
Man, shit, today, yeah. But in the 90s, towards the end of his career, he like tore his groin. Came to press conference. The first thing he said when he sat down is, "Well, sex is definitely out of the question tonight." Like, damn, like Chuck, you're my spirit animal. That's the type of shit that's the type of shit I would say at the end of the game. Like that's crazy. Just
Charles, I didn't expect that. That's what's up.
Chuck is he's my favorite power forward of all time to watch. He's so entertaining. And then center, I've got Hakeem Olajuwon. Just if there's ever been someone, if you took a painter and instilled them with basketball talent, you would get Hakeem Olajuwon. Like just how graceful he was on the floor. And it's like he was doing magic tricks out there. Like, it's just like, how are you doing that? how your footwork is like, you can't even really teach it. Like, I'm watching you do it. Right. But I literally can't duplicate what you're doing. Right. I see it. I can't duplicate it. Like it's like a Michelangelo painting. Like you can see it, but you can't duplicate that.
Right. Yeah.
So those are my four: Steph Curry, Kobe Bryant, Charles Barkley, and Hakeem Olajuwon.
That's solid.
Formidable team. They getting scrubbed up. They getting wiped off the floor, though. I'm saying. No.
Oh, here we go.
Heavy. Hot takes. I like it. Talk heavy, man.
I mean, we can get into that conversation next show. Let's put our teams together and see which one will win. We talk about that another show.
Oh yeah, look, we could do a draft. We could do whatever. Like we could set it all up. But yeah, but Chase, let's hear it, man. Let's hear
All
what
right.
you got.
Favorite players at each position. Yeah. All right. So point guard, Steve Nash. He made me really start appreciating basketball offenses. It was my favorite team on 2K. And just the way he played. He played hard, being Canadian, 3-point shot. He was like the Steph Curry, almost like progenitor in a sense, in sort of the running gun point guard who also could play make. Like I think a lot of players like took the Steve Nash mold and like took it to a whole other level. Gilbert Arenas, Steph, Dame. Like I think that's all kind of like started with Steve Nash in a sense.
I bet the difference, but I'll let you finish.
I see what you're saying though, because like that Phoenix team, I think I mentioned that before too. They kind of ushered in that pace,
Yeah.
that Mike D'Antoni offense. I mean, Don Nelson kind of did it too as well, but like Steve
I think
Nash
y'all
was like the
forgetting about.
orchestrator.
I think I'm forgetting about the Showtime offense in the '80s with Magic Johnson.
See,
I mean, but that's
talk about-
that's kind of different though. Like
Okay, all right.
that's kind of different.
That's my
It's
point.
a different style of
Magic
offense. It's not the same.
Yeah, Magic is a whole nother entity too. Like,
Yeah,
I don't even include him in them kind of, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I got you. Yeah, go ahead, Chase. You
All right.
good?
You got Steve Nash at the point, holding it down. My favorite shooting guard. I'm really thinking about it. Has to be Vince Carter. Like just remembering
all this
like how big
Canadian
of a
shit,
fan.
like, you're going Canada
I was a
crazy
huge
tonight.
fan.
What is I'm this gonna be the
Homer.
title of this
Those
video.
start making sense. Like when I thought about it, like yeah, Vince Carter, Toronto Raptors. Like just watching him and then seeing what he did on the Nets. And I think in his prime, he's trading buckets with any of the great two guards.
Sure.
Like, so
Yeah, no doubt.
and his the moments, the highlight moments, that's my guy. Like it gotta be Vince Carter at the two.
But hands down the greatest slam dunk performance anyone has ever seen.
Yeah, he's just the best dunker ever. Like to me, like how we
One of the
say
best
Steph is the greatest
game
shooter
dunker
ever. To me, like Vince Carter is the greatest dunker of all time.
Yeah, 100%.
He had a
100%.
shot too. His shot wasn't, bro. He wasn't one of them athletic dudes who also could.
Vince Carter had all around game. Like
exactly all three levels. Like he was a I don't know what, probably just team, luck of the draw type of thing. Like the NBA is so tricky, getting the right situation. But
Vince wasn't a true like leader on the court. He didn't have it. He didn't have all the leadership tools.
Right.
Yeah, because Jason Kidd was the leader of that Nets team, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Like so definitely. So, but I got Vince. I probably found a leader somewhere in my top 5. Let me see.
Nash is a great leader. What you talking about? That's a great leader.
And I got my 3 guard, the truth, Paul Pierce.
Well, Paul Pierce 3. I hate Paul Pierce.
See this guy. That's why we was like always opposites basketball players.
Oh my God.
Paul Pierce, the truth.
That old man game, I can't stand it, bro. Like
in here, I lost a ton of respect for Paul Pierce.
Wheelchair.
When the injury, when they had to carry him off, and he said, "I just had to go to the bathroom." Like, why are you having people carry you off the court when all you had to do was take a shit?
Man, he was clutch. He always showed up to play. He played great defense. Court vision underrated,
man. I do not like
Boston down.
Shit bothers me that he's being mentioned on this channel.
Oh,
I'm bullshit.
Man, Paul was the truth. Like, there's another one of them guys that when you put him in his prime, he's trading buckets with a lot of people at his position.
Facts. I respect his game.
I
respect his game. One thing I ain't gonna do, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna front on like the nigga. He was good. Like
he had that kind of attitude I always appreciated. Like them guys, and it's gonna make sense when I go to my number 4, KG.
Okay.
KG. That's my first basketball jersey I ever owned. Was a Kevin Garnett Minnesota jersey. I had his All-Star jersey when he was an All-Star. The way that he played the game, defense, offense, his attitude, like just like that kind of fire. That's kind of how I kind of like modeled my game in a little bit. Like I have an attitude when I play basketball. Like I'm not nice Canadian. Like I kind of I'm.
You're not Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, nah, definitely. Like I play basketball with a little bit of like I probably rub people the wrong way with the way I talk. So KG, I like players like that. And then my number 5, my center, Jokic. I'm under the impression, to me, I don't think there's 5 centers alive better than him of all time. I think he's
heavy
top
words.
5. I think he's top 5 all-time centers.
That's a
I think he's a
conversation.
top 5. I think it's time to start thinking about that for at least by the time it's all said and done. Who, if you drop him in any era, just like you did Shaq or any of the other greats, he completely destroys every era you put him in. There's no era where like they could have handled what he brings to the game.
I like it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It's fair.
I like it. That brings up another conversation for a future show too, man. Like
that's my favorite players at each position. It was hard because I was gonna go with Shaq. But just what I've been watching Jokic do is like poetry. It's just like he's toying with everybody. Like
he makes that shit look so easy. It's ridiculous. Like it's not supposed to be happening, but it's happening. Like,
you just watching this man just completely like sleepwalk through triple doubles and just okay. I feel like getting 16 assists, or I feel like getting 40.
Like that's the thing. Like it's strong triple doubles. It ain't that bullshit like 21, 10, and 11. Like this nigga's getting 28, 16, and 15. Like
and 78% shooting, 43 from the 3-point line, 17 for 50. You know what I'm saying? Free throws.
Yeah.
Like,
that's that's
crazy.
I like that.
It's interesting. We've already mentioned 2 of the names that trigger Justin anytime he hears them. We already mentioned Embiid and Paul Pierce.
Man.
That's 2 of the 4 that I know of that will trigger him.
We got one more to mention. I think y'all know who that is. Playing Houston right now.
That was number 3. That was number 3.
That's my God. Hey, Canada pride right now, yo. I'm with all the Canadians right now, man. Dylan Brooks is a national treasure. He should be. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna go ahead and say the name.
This stream gonna be called Team Canada for sure. Yeah. I'm putting that shit in the title.
Yeah, we got a squad now. Team Canada got a squad now.
Didn't they just win the did they win the Worlds or what tournament was that just happened? They came close. If they didn't,
SGA played for us.
I think SGA played too.
That makes sense.
I know Dylan Brooks played. That nigga Dylan Brooks was hooping too. I ain't gonna hold you.
Houston. You been hooping for Houston.
Too far.
Come on, now.
Too far. He don't hoop in the NBA.
He done gave them a spark. They not at the bottom of the cellar. He done gave them the leadership.
So it's him. That's what you're saying. Like it
feels like it.
Oh my God.
I done ran out of wine. He made me sip so much I done ran out.
But so my kicking off. Well, I had to go with somebody who's not playing because obviously Ja Morant's my favorite player. That would have been disingenuous for me to name anybody but Ja Morant if it was a current player. So I had to go with Penny Hardaway, man. Penny Hardaway.
Not AI?
Nah, he's a 2. We getting there. Don't worry about it. We getting there. We getting there.
Okay.
Penny Hardaway, just electrifying. He's like the first guy after Magic, like in that mold. You know what I mean? Like showstopper, great vision, passing ability, elite. You know what I mean? Like just dunking on centers, dunking on Hakeem, greats. You know what I mean? Like if he's one of them guys, like we always mention with Grant Hill, if he never got injured, he's, to me, like he's a top 15, top 20 player of all time if he never gets hurt. So Penny Hardaway was a fucking monster, cultural icon. He had the little Penny doll, like in the 90s. Like this is what we grew up on, the little Penny commercials. Chris Rock, like, you know what I mean?
Those commercials were hilarious.
Yeah, like
Penny.
Yeah, like that shit takes me back to my childhood when I first started watching basketball and understanding. So Penny Hardaway at my 1. Like Chase just said, my favorite player of all time got to be at the 2. AI only really played the point when he first came to the league, you know what I mean? Then they kind of got a handle on him, like, nah, we need you at the 2. You're going to play off ball a little bit, you know what I mean? So I don't even need to go into an explanation why AI, I mean, I talked about him ad nauseum on this show before, so I don't think I got to get into a whole thing about him. So yeah, AI at my 2. I ain't take a 3. So at the 4, y'all probably won't expect this, Rasheed Wallace.
Okay.
I can see that. No,
Mr. Ball don't lie. Like how Chase said KG play with the attitude that I like, that he like. Sheed is that for me. Like,
Yeah.
and specifically Portland Rasheed. Like,
Yeah. If
Rasheed was that.
you hooped with this man, then you definitely understand.
Yeah, like inside game, outside game. Like, she was a two-way player, played great defense. I mean, come on, catalyst to a championship team in Detroit. When they brought him over, that was the icing on the cake for that Detroit team to win the championship.
Put him over the top.
Yeah,
and to
man.
this
Like,
day, the only player in NBA history that got thrown out of a game for looking at an official.
right. Like, I like and I like shit like that. Like, he intimidated the ref so much that he was like, "Nah, you got to go." So that type of shit resonates with me. Like, I like that. Like, I like intimidation. Like, I like niggas getting intimidated. So
Eat that clip. Eat that clip.
yeah, like she was my guy. Like hooping in Air Force Ones. You know, the inventor of ball don't lie. Like I could go forever with Rasheed, man. Like, that's one of my favorite players of all time to watch. Period, man. So, and at my center, Ben took him, but I gotta go with the dream, man. Like the you explained it all perfectly. Like footwork, just graceful. I watched them destroy Shaq. Like we saw all this back-to-back championships. You know, Ben mentioned all the attributes. I'm trying to kind of go into the accomplishments. One of the only quadruple doubles. You know what I mean? Just
had two of them in the same month.
Two of them. You know what I mean? So yeah, like what else can you say about Dream, man? Dream was just. I remember the Knicks. I remember when they played the Knicks in the finals. I wanted the Knicks to win, and Dream just wasn't having it. Like, I don't know why I necessarily wanted the Knicks to win. I guess because I was in Connecticut at the time, and the Knicks was kind of like the local thing. But I never been a Knicks fan or anything. But it would have been nice to see him win. But Hakeem wasn't having that shit. Like, it just wasn't happening. So Game 7 got him out of there. Yeah, Hakeem is my center. So. That's my squad, man.
Yeah, respectable, very respectable.
All good choices. I wasn't expecting that she
did not.
It was unexpected, but I totally understand.
Oh yeah,
like
it makes sense what you said. It.
Yeah, just your prototypical like hard nosed. Rasheed he's one of those guys that could have played football. He could have played hockey. He could have played rugby. Anything physical. He could have been an MMA. Like he has the demeanor mentally for all of those sports, right?
She talks shit. I like when you talk shit, man.
Yeah, we gotta do like an all-time like NBA tough guy sort of tiers. Like the Kenyon Martins, the Rasheed Wallace, Draymond.
You know who a lot of people forget? Mad Max, Vernon Maxwell. That nigga was
Maxwell.
That nigga
he played for.
He was on the Rockets in the 90s. He was on them championship teams.
Okay.
That nigga's a menace. Go look up interviews of this nigga talking about like he beat Gary Payton ass and all that, like in practice. like Mad Max was not playing, bro.
That's funny.
That's a good call. We gotta all the NBA tough guys.
Yeah, Tony Allen beating OJ Mayo. I mentioned that he beat OJ Mayo ass on the plane over a dice game or a card game or some shit.
Now I don't know. That's a little unhinged.
Hey, Tony Allen not playing with.
They'll beat his ass because he didn't play well. Don't beat his ass because a dice game.
He owed him money on a card game. Like that sounds fair to me.
I give him a pass.
You the young fella,
yeah, especially when you a millionaire. How you gonna owe me money and you a millionaire? What's up with that?
And you the young fella, like, nah, nigga, I need my bread. Like,
yeah, run me my coin.
It was Grizzlies Tony Allen. That's a player.
Yeah. Grizzlies Tony Allen, bro. Grit and grind. Like, but yeah, that's another one. I need to start writing all this shit down, man. Like for show topics.
Good ideas.
So yeah, we're gonna get into this 1v1. Y'all know what time it is.
All right.
Got a few of them. First, we're gonna kick it off with we're gonna go to Chase. De'Aaron Fox or Tyrese Halliburton?
Tyrese Halliburton.
That was too fast.
Tyrese Halliburton.
You ain't let him marinate. Like,
that was ridiculously easy. You see what he's doing? That's SGA, Tyrese.
No, don't put him up.
I'm on the bandwagon. What you talking about?
Nah, we're not gonna do that. You're
I'm
gonna be out
here.
here apologizing again for something else, man. Like, nah,
Nah.
I won't let you do it to yourself, bro. I'm looking out for you. I promise you.
I'm a prisoner in the moment right now.
I mean, I ain't trying to say like he ain't good, you know what I mean? But I think niggas is jumping the gun maybe just a little bit, bro. Like, come on, like we gotta let
But
him
De'Aaron
breathe a
Fox
little
though
bit.
is a tier below. I definitely feel that.
A tier below.
A small tier, like a little. You were there with Trae Young and stuff. Like,
Nah. Come on, man. You can't. Come on, bro. Don't disrespect De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron, Trae Young. Comparable.
Who you got, Ben? De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton.
I think I'm going to give a slight edge to De'Aaron Fox, only because he is probably the fastest NBA player I have ever personally watched. I don't think I've ever seen anyone that can go from point A to point B with the ball as quickly as De'Aaron Fox. He's like a blur. Like it's ridiculous. Like how are you not a world-class sprinter in high school? Maybe you were, I don't know, but there's no way any human being should be able to get from the 3-point line to the basket that fast. Like so I would give a very slight edge to him just because he's the fastest player I think I've ever seen.
It's just like, man, I don't think Chase understand. De'Aaron Fox averaging 30 right now. Like that nigga averaging 30. Now I ain't trying to say like that's the end all be all, but if you look at where De'Aaron Fox came from, like he couldn't even shoot threes before. Now this nigga's pulling up, hitting like ridiculous shots from range. Like
and he clutched. I remember last year with Danny.
And that's another thing I was gonna mention too. He's hella clutch. He won Clutch Player of the Year. I think the inaugural award for that. Like,
yeah. I just feel like I'm seeing the ultimate version of Steve Nash. Like everything I talked about with Steve Nash and Halliburton is like that final realization of a player.
What I do like about Halliburton, though, like what I really, 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 really do like about him is that he does not turn the ball over. Like he have games where he got 16 assists and no turnovers. Like that type of shit. That's
shows in IQ, like his patience,
yeah.
like the way he plays the game.
So that's what I really like about him. But I'm taking Swiper, man.
But that's Sacktown, man. Like, come on, bias.
What Sacktown got to do with me?
Same thing that Detroit Lions got to do with me.
That's none of my concern. What they got going on over there? Shout out to him, man.
Sacktown. Oh, Kevin Martin, dude.
I got one for y'all.
Shout out to Kevin Martin.
Y'all gonna oh yeah, shout out to Kevin Martin. I never mentioned Kevin Martin on the show. Kevin Martin was my favorite player for a long time. Like legit score. I'm talking about but you want to talk about a bucket with that ugly ass
Halliburton shot. Well, it can't. His shit was.
Yeah, Kevin Martin shit was super ugly, but he was a bucket though, like for a long time.
That's another topic. Who had the ugliest shot in the NBA? That's another topic.
Either him or Sean Marion.
Gotta be.
Oh man, y'all forgetting about Bill Cartwright.
Oh yeah, yeah. Bill Cartwright shit was terrible. And who shot free throw? Who paused on their free throw? Somebody pauses on their free throw.
And then
Ewing used to do it a lot.
Yeah, Ewing had an ugly free throw. Ewing shot ugly too. It was mad Jamaican. Like I knew he was from the island. He
was mad Jamaican.
I knew that nigga was Caribbean when I saw him shoot. Y'all gonna like this one.
All right.
Dylan Brooks.
There he is.
Or Jordan Poole.
Oh my God. Oh,
you actually gotta think about it. Ain't that fucked up? Like you gotta actually like
the contract. Go ahead, man. I'll let you
go. I give slight edge to Jordan Poole because he has shown that he is at least capable of playing within a system and winning. Right? Like he's shown that he's capable of doing it. Dylan Brooks has not shown that he's capable of playing within a system. Right? It's just hero ball all the time. And his ego is significantly larger than Jordan Poole. And Jordan Poole got a big ego.
I don't know about
Jordan
that.
Poole got a big ego.
That's
Jordan Poole has
ego. They I don't know.
I think Brooks, because here's the thing. Dylan Brooks believes that he's some type of like big time defensive stopper too, on top of like everything else. Like he's like, it's delusional. Like with Jordan, like he has offensive game and numbers to somewhat support his ego. Now he do be talking loose. He do be talking
he's
wow.
delusional. He's like offensively delusional. Dylan Brooks is defensively delusional. I think Dylan Brooks is both, really, because that nigga shoot like he Kobe Bryant. Like I don't understand.
Green light Dylan.
Y'all wouldn't have got off to that start with Dylan Brooks though.
What's that?
Y'all wouldn't have got off to that start this season with Dylan Brooks though.
Yes, we would have. So we would have won what, 1 or 2 more games?
Come on, at least plus 5 or 6.
Nah,
attitude, spirit, and swag. You know that counts. They come to the stadium with no swag.
Because you're forgetting for all of the offensive firepower he would have given them, you have to balance that with the number of games he would have shot them out of.
Man,
right? So it's like kind of balances out.
I've seen this nigga shoot us out of so many games. You can't convince me that we would have been just so much better. Nah. You going with Jordan Poole or Dylan Brooks, Jay?
All right. If we're talking like we get them in their contracts, I'm taking Dylan Brooks. If we're just talking about as an individual, I'm taking Jordan Poole.
That nigga Jordan Poole is just bad at basketball. I realize it. Like the nigga can't shoot. Like
I feel like he's a coach away, maybe from if he played for Jason Kidd or some like one of them play like a coach away from maybe like giving us 22 and 5 and not be something like that.
Like how Ben just brought up the ego. Like that nigga is like remember he told the nigga on Washington, I don't know who it was. He was like, yo, this is my team. Like, this is my fucking team. Like, who are you, bro?
That's
like,
cool.
Okay, y'all got you're 6-30. Okay,
yeah,
that's your
like,
team.
It's your team. Like,
last place.
I think Mesa said they records. I think Mesa said they record look like a tour date.
Told that nigga relax, man. Your record like a tour date. Yeah, that's a fact. Though. I'm just taking Jordan Poole just because I don't fuck with Dylan Brooks. I mean, it's just that simple. I just wanted y'all to think about it. You know what I mean? Like I just thought it was a good comparison between two egomaniacs. So
that was good.
This is another good one right here. Trae Young or Rajon Rondo?
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Depends so much on the team.
You go first, Chase, if you want.
Okay. Rondo is. I felt like Rondo just means you're gonna win. The way that he played in his prime, and then even like that 1 year after they kind of got old, and he was like he kind of really turned up and became their best player almost like. When Ray Allen wasn't really that.
Yeah, he did become their best player. Yeah,
like he just feels like he gives you 25 wins just by being on your team. I don't know if I feel that way about Trae Young just yet. I like what Trae got though. But Rondo,
you said just yet. You know Trae Young in like his 6th or 7th year, right?
That's
so
crazy.
It ain't,
I still look at him as a young player trying to like, and maybe that goes into it, I don't see him ever leading a team as the best player for a championship. I don't think Rondo could either necessarily. So that's not necessarily a knock. But he plays the game like he's supposed to be that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think Rondo plus a star is better than Trae Young plus another star. So I'm going Rondo. And the defense, it's not even comparable. The defense,
yeah, facts. There you go. That was it right there.
Yeah, the defense not even comparable. So.
I definitely agree with you. The point you made about Trae Young as being his like 6th or 7th year, the Hawks really haven't shown consistent progression in his tenure there.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about the other greats, when you think about where the Bulls were in Jordan's 7th year, where the Cavs were in LeBron's 6th or 7th year, where the Warriors were in Curry's 6th or 7th year. Giannis, like you go down the list, you can see that there is steady progression of those teams across that time. Now, some of that is, free agency moves and team building and stuff like that. That plays a lot into it. But not all of those players were lucky to have great GMs, right? Like it's obvious that if you're capable of elevating a team, is going to show over time. So Trey I think there's a lot about his game is fool's gold to me.
Mm-hmm.
Very entertaining player, very extremely talented, very dangerous, unstoppable virtually. He stops himself with turnovers. But, Rondo he reminds me of Jimmy Butler. Like the way that he approaches his mindset, his mentality of the game, just how utilitarian he is, and how many different roles he can play. How he can turn it up when you need a bucket from him, but then he could turn it down and be in the background and facilitate. Like he has so much flexibility in his game. And he's a little bit of a weirdo, and you kind of need that. Like you kind of need that in a player. You need a weirdo on the team to kind of be that agent of chaos. Like every great team has had at least one weirdo. He was a weirdo on that team.
He's scrappy too. Like Rondo is a very scrappy guy. Like he's a coach on the floor. You can't, like, if he's on the floor, the game is gonna be played at his pace. He's one of those guys. So
that team was so physical because of Rondo, like, and he started going down.
Yep.
Like Rondo, was it Tony Allen, Pierce, KG? Like,
that's a physical ass team. Yeah, that, like when you look back at that roster, like
that's an all attitude 5.
Yeah. I take Rondo over Trae Young too. Everybody know how I feel about Trae Young. I think he's a good player, but he's Mice Trae. What Skip Bayless say? He's Mice Trae.
Mice Trae.
He's just too little. Like he's just like he's one of those guys that's completely ineffective if his shot is not on. If his shot's not on, then his fucking usage just
basura.
Yeah, it's just I don't really put too much stock in Trae, and the people here hate when I say it because the Atlanta Hawks fans love Trae Young, like, but I just be trying to be real with him. Like he's just not that guy.
Nah.
Yep. Yeah.
He's not a number one. If he could be a great number 2 for a championship team, I'd say that. But he needs a star. He's the co-star. So let me get Rondo for that one for sure.
Yep.
Next, another good one. Jimmy Butler or Donovan Mitchell. Damn, I like that silence.
This one isn't that difficult for me. I'm gonna go with Jimmy Butler for the reason I just mentioned. He's such a utilitarian, and his basketball IQ is just off the charts. Just his ability to recognize situations and know he almost always chooses the right moment to turn it up and take the game over versus finding the right pass or orchestrating the right play and setting up other, like he knows how to facilitate and kind of puppeteer the game. He's one of those guys, I talked about this in a previous show. He's one of those guys that dictate what the other 9 players on the floor are doing, like at all times, more so than Donovan Mitchell does. Taking nothing away from Donovan, like he's an absolute beast, like just an absolute beast.
70 points.
Yeah, he's a beast. Like he's a machine offensively, but he's not going to elevate a team to greatness as effectively as Jimmy Butler can.
Right. That's a
good way. I mean, it's testament to all that time he was, he was out west. Like again, there's the team progression was insufficient there with him.
And it's looking like the same thing in Cleveland. Honestly, like they kind of plateaued.
Yeah, they're stuck.
Who you got, Chase?
You made a lot of great points. I just seen Jimmy do a lot with so little, and that force of will. My heart wants me to take Donovan Mitchell because of his physical attributes, what he could be. But I can't. I gotta take the player for who they are and how they operate, what he's shown. But that offensive firepower is there's not too many people that could go off like that. Like when he's on his A+ game, puts him top 2, 3 in the league. Like his A+ game goes right there with KD, Steph. You know,
That's a fact.
yeah. Jimmy Butler though will have an A+ series.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler raises his play in the playoffs more than anybody in the league, hands down.
It should be studied. I don't know how. He must literally be pretending during the season.
Yeah, like he coasts. It's like he coasts through the season just to get to the playoffs, and then it's just a whole different player. It
has to be the case. It has to be the case at this point. So I just have to go with Jimmy because playoff Jimmy is a real thing. Like he really becomes top 10 in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's a top 10 player in the playoffs for sure.
And
I think
top 30 to top 10 is crazy.
I think there definitely is a sense of like saving myself for the playoffs. I could definitely see where maybe he might choose not to push it quite as hard in the middle of January because there is something he wants to leave gas in the tank for the playoffs. I could definitely see that. But one of the aspects, and I heard Shaq talk about this. I don't necessarily agree with Shaq's takes, but I think he's right on this one. When you're in the playoffs and you're a great player, your numbers should go up because you're playing more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's more timeouts. You get more rest between games, which means that you should be physically and mentally fresher each game that you play. Plus, you're playing familiar opponents.
Yeah.
So there's not a whole lot because you have so much, because there's so much stasis, I'm going to call it. There's so little change from one game to the next. You're playing the same opponent. You're getting plenty of rest. You're getting more minutes, more timeouts during the game. You should play better, right? You should. If you're a great player, you should be able to elevate. Yeah, let's travel everything, right? So there should be a pickup in your numbers if that really what defines you as a great player is how well you're able to elevate your game in the playoffs and take advantage of all of that rest and stasis.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And like you said, I rarely agree with Shaq on his blabbering, but yeah, that was a good point though.
Shaq, I think, is just one of those people that's.
It always comes back to Shaq for Shaq. Like Shaq always, well, I won championship. Like nigga, we know
I won 4 rings. How many you got? Like, bro,
that's just, like nigga, we know.
One day Charles Barkley gonna punch him on stage. One day Charles Barkley gonna have enough.
Then already fought on the court, and many people will say that Chuck won the fight because he was a man on top.
He scooped him.
Which again, testament to Chuck, like
one day
freakishly strong. Like
he gonna do that 4-ring thing to Chuck on the wrong day.
Now Chuck too old to be scrapping now.
Chuck got bad knees and all type of shit.
Yeah, I mean, Phoenix Suns, Charles Barkley, 94, 93.
Yeah, he would have gave it to Shaq.
All of it. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, so we got that. Oh man. I'm putting Chase on the spot with this one.
Let's do it.
SGA versus Luka. Let me get it. That was like specifically tailor made for you, Chase. That was.
It's Don Luka, man. That's not good. Is Luka. Right at this minute. SGA. Let's see this playoff series. This playoff series that he's about to have, his run is going to do.
They might play each other. They might play each other.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna let that determine it. This playoff series, but right now I gotta go with Luka. Luka's going crazy this year too, so it's not like Luka's been slacking.
He is.
Mavericks are playing decent. They're playing well, better than people thought. I think gave them credit for. I think they kind of figured out with Kyrie. There's just no defense on that team. They don't have the right roster yet around what they got going on. But Luka and Kyrie figured it out. So yeah, it's Luka right now, but SGA is coming. He's coming for every guard, truly. So yeah, that Thunder team is what they gonna do. What KD, Harden, and Russ wasn't never accomplished. They're gonna win a championship.
If Chet develops the way he's supposed to, like that shit is gonna be ridiculous.
They have enough picks to go get a star too. Their whole team is set up to be the best team in the league next 3-4 years. They have the perfect formula. They got 2 looking like transcendent stars. I'm changing to SGA, man. I'm going to SGA.
He talked
He
himself
switched.
into it. He talked
He talked
himself
himself
into it.
into it.
No, yeah, no. SGA.
I thought Nick Wright would be so disappointed in you.
That's my. I'm gonna meet Nick Wright one day between poker, Luca.
You just know that Nick Wright. I have no inkling of his background, but he just sounds like the guy that was the least athletic person in school, and all he did was sit on the sideline and talk shit about the people on the court. Like he just seems like that guy. He may have played sports, I don't know, but he just seems like the guy that was
6'1". I think he hooped high school.
He's 6'1". Nick Wright is 6'1".
Yeah, he's 6'1".
He look like a little nigga.
Nah, he hooped. He did a little high school hoop, nothing crazy, but like
I can't even imagine him playing basketball. I would have threw his shit down the court. Pause. What?
He just looks like an asshole. Like he's been an asshole his whole life.
No, that
like he just
is a fact.
He do for real. Like he got rich parents, and he just like, you know who my father is? He that nigga. You know who my father is?
Man, nah, he
like it's a different.
Got him a beautiful queen at home. He don't get no points from y'all. I got him a queen at home, man.
It's a different level of asshole. Is like a Skip Bayless, where Skip is a homer, but he's built up an ego as a result of having a long and successful career. And now he feels like he's the man because of what he's accomplished, and so he acts like an asshole. Now Nick Wright, he's been like that all his life. Like he came out the womb like that,
natural to him.
Yeah,
sure.
But anyway, getting back to SJ versus Luka.
Shout out Nick Wright.
If it's 10 seconds to go and I need a bucket, I'm gonna pick Luka Doncic 10 out of 10 times. If it's a game 7. And I need to win a game to close out a series, give me SGA. Because I trust.
We know that already.
Was that?
I said we know that already.
Ice in his veins.
Based on what I have seen, I believe that SGA is more capable of leading a team to a game 7 series win than Luka Doncic. Even though Luka has done it. I know that sounds crazy.
Did he?
I have a higher level of trust in SGA's ability to elevate a team to a playoff win than Luka Doncic.
That's fair.
Because when Luka, that game 7, what was it against the Suns? And they had like one of the most. But that was Luka played great in that series, but the Suns sucked more than he was great in that series. Like, there's no question. You don't get blown out by 40 points in a game 7.
Game 7 at home.
At home, that's unheard of. You have multiple future Hall of Famers on the court, and you get waxed in front of your home crowd.
I know Devin Booker is tired of his shit by now. Like he got to be tired of Luka. Like Luka owns Devin Booker. Like that shit is ridiculous. He be terrorizing them and the Clippers for real. Like that nigga be going crazy.
Clippers. I ain't get my flowers for my Clippers.
You gotta relax, man. It ain't over. You said the playoff. We still waiting on these niggas to get injured. Like I know what's coming. I know what's coming. 1 or 2 of them niggas gonna be gone. I guarantee you. They're not going into the playoffs healthy.
But right now they hooping though. It's working.
They hooping right now.
Yeah.
But we'll see though. Like this is some shit. Like we gotta wait till the games count for real. Like
I'll wait.
Because we know what the Clippers do this shit all the time, man.
It's different this time.
Okay.
I feel like
we'll be back here talking about this, I'm sure.
All right.
The Clippers they're the 4 seed, 3 games back from the Timberwolves. Like they're 2.5 games behind the Nuggets. So yeah, they're very good, but they're not showing that's 21-12 is not a caliber, is not a championship caliber record,
but
for a team that's been healthy all year, right? They're not showing me enough.
Even if it is, I know this is the same shit I talk about with James Harden. Ironically, he's on the team now. It's like way too much combustible shit going on. Like, I know something's gonna happen. There's something bad is gonna happen at the end of the season. I guarantee you. You could set your watch to it. Whether it's James Harden doing his usual flame out bullshit, or Kawhi or Paul George getting hurt, or both of them, something's gonna happen. And you got Russ on the team. Like that's the complete wild card. He's a natural
all of them.
fuck up. Like
all of them can't be starting. Who's coming off the bench?
Russ is coming
Russ
off the
came off
bench.
the bench.
Okay. Yeah, Russ on the bench.
He volunteered. That's a big step.
Yeah, but I think Russ is washed. Like I think that's it for him. You don't come back from that. Like
him and Harden.
You're
both.
like, yeah, y'all are. Yeah, Russ is firmly in that, like late stage, like
veterans minimum.
You're in that late stage, like Karl Malone on the Lakers, right? Like that's like that's the stage of career that he's in at this point. Like, what was that? 2008 when they lost the finals? Was that? Do I have my?
About when they lost to Miami?
Well, no, that wasn't 2008. That's when Durant was drafted. It was 2011.
It was something like that, yeah. 2011 when they lost to the Heat. It was somewhere around it. 2011, 2012.
2012 finals. That was 12 years ago. So these ain't spring chickens we talking about here, right? That was 12. It doesn't feel like it. 12 years ago. So all of them niggas in their mid 30s.
And even more so because Russ plays hard. Like he's like not even like a regular whatever age he is. That nigga plays hard every night. So that wear and tear is crazy on him.
That's the best medium in the game though.
But point guards don't have 20-year careers.
Man.
Especially point guards like him. Them explosive ass point guards that's jumping out the gym and
they don't play 20 years. They just don't. I don't know. So,
but I respect Russ' game. You got to. Like the MVP season was ridiculous. Like
played great for the Wizards considering what they had. He brought them to the playoffs. They're not even sniffing the playoffs right now.
True.
So, like Russ on a bad team is a good option. It's just that he can't be the best player no more.
Yep.
Desmond Bane or CJ McCollum.
Two whack dudes.
What?
I beg to differ there.
Just the lack of swag at each is just
the lack of swag. The LOS.
The most
they're nice guys.
Yeah. Like Desmond.
Nice guys. Good Christian, nice Christian, wholesome men.
Nice Christian men.
It's Stefan Urkel and them.
Yes, that's a good comparison. Stefan Urkel. That's a good comparison.
Desmond Bane brings the dad a cigar on a first date.
What's wrong with that?
His favorite rapper is probably Drake or some shit. Like,
my god! If he hang around Jaws, NBA YoungBoy, I promise you.
Man, I don't know who to pick for my little brother. I got to pick CJ. That is based off. Oh my god! I'm pick CJ over.
It's really hard. That's tough.
The vice president, ain't he the president of the Players Association? Give me CJ, man.
So. So that's the deciding factor. Got it.
Definitely, he got ranked.
I think. So you're talking. These are guys that are like solid perennial number 2 options on their teams, right? I think, but your number 2 option is someone that can show capability to step up and be the number 1 when the number 1 is out. And I think that Desmond Bane has shown us more in terms of his ability to step up into that slot when needed, more so than CJ McCollum over the course of their careers. CJ was very consistently overshadowed by Dame on the court. Not superstardom, yes, he's going to be overshadowed regardless. But on the court, he was in his shadow all the time. Whereas I don't see where Desmond Bane is being overshadowed in his court performance by Ja the same way that McCollum was by Dame.
That's fair. That's very fair. That's accurate.
So now he ain't no John Morant. He ain't no alpha male. That's not him. But
no.
Ja goes out. Ja's injured, sprain his ankle in the third quarter. We need somebody to carry the offense and lift us to a victory.
He's
capable. Yeah.
I got Dez, man. I got Dez. It's just like, Dez is Dez, man. Dez averaged like 26 points a game. Chase, bro, he averages 26 points a game. Like, what are we talking about?
You be the president.
Has CJ McCollum ever averaged 26 points a game?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Like 21, 22 points a game.
Has he? Has he averaged 20-something points a game?
I think he had a 20-point season with Dame in Portland.
The statistician looking it up, I could tell.
Yeah. Career stats, his highest, he had 24.3 and 22 with the Pelicans.
Okay.
Oh, so that's new.
That's recent.
He averaged 23 points a couple times with the Blazers.
Okay.
That's it.
My fault, CJ.
That was as high as he been.
Before that injury, remember he was smooth with it before the injury.
CJ got game. Like I respect CJ game. Like I know he a scorer, bona fide scorer. What they call him, a professional scorer. I get it. Like, but
that 22 season,
swole.
I'm gonna put an asterisk on that 24 points because that was a season. Looks like he got traded. That was the season he got traded. He only played 26 games with the Pelicans, so I had to put an asterisk next to that 24.
So prior to that, what was he averaging on Portland?
In that season, he was averaging 20.5. That same season.
Okay.
The season where he averaged 23 was the previous season, 21. He only played 47 games. 2017, he averaged 23 points and he played 80 games. But he's been right around 20, 21, 22 points his whole career.
I like CJ game though. CJ's a better ball handler than Dez is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think he's a better overall scorer, like a bucket. He's more of a guaranteed bucket than Dez is.
Yeah.
But Dez, I think, is a more efficient player.
Yeah. And he's a better 3-point shooter than CJ is too.
Yes.
So yeah, let me get Dez. Grizz shit. You know what I mean?
Of course. Of course.
Yeah, I better not say the wrong thing. Tyrese Maxey or LaMelo Ball?
That's truly difficult.
That's not hard for me.
You
want to go first? You want me to go first?
You got it. I gotta think.
Yeah, I LaMelo Ball. It's not difficult to me. Now I could be biased in the fact that LaMelo has had an opportunity that Maxey hasn't had. He's had the opportunity to be the franchise player. Maxey hasn't had that opportunity. Maybe it'll happen in the future, but he'll have to leave Philly for that to happen.
Yeah, facts. Big facts.
So I love both of their games. I think they're both like extremely dynamic players. But I think LaMelo is under significantly more pressure in terms of from an individual expectation standpoint. Maxey has more than the team expectations in terms of team success. LaMelo, that's his team. Like, he is the Hornets. And he's handling it better than you would expect. Right? And he's performing in a way that's better than what you would expect, especially with all of the poor examples of your Dylan Brooks and your Jordan Pooles, and like really bad examples of young players that think they're the franchise. This guy is actually the franchise, and he's, in my opinion, performing above expectations, even though the team is not doing very well. Actually, let me look at where they are right now.
He's been injured for a while too, so. But prior to the injury, he was going crazy. I think
he's been hooping this year.
Yeah, he had like a 7-game stretch where he was just going ridiculously crazy, and then he got hurt. He's been out since. He's been out over a month. So
yeah, but I mean, like he's already doing like Hulu commercials. Like he can be in the running to be like the face of the NBA. Like he's got that type of personality. He's just very likable. Just like he's got it. He's got that thing. He's got that it thing. You know, he's got that thing that Jordan Poole wants.
Yeah,
Jordan Poole wishes that he had what LaMelo has. Right.
He's just a more likable person. Jordan Poole's not a likable guy. He got a punchable face.
As we've seen.
Yeah, I felt Draymond on that one. Like I played with Jordan Poole players before. Like,
yeah, it's
you're
just
not
like
that nice. You're not that nice. You're not-
he say he playing for the baddies, nigga. I'm hooping for the baddies, bro.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Me and him would have never got along. Like,
I want to point out something I just saw. I'm looking at the standings. The Orlando Magic have cooled off quite a bit.
They have.
that's to be expected. That's to be
Yeah,
nigga,
I was like, yeah, they're doing
Paulo
good.
ain't
It's not gonna
cooled
last
off
long.
though.
Yeah,
he the
Paulo
truth.
went off. He went off on Sacramento though. That nigga had like 40-something points.
I can't wait to see where he goes because nobody stays with the Magic. So I can't wait to see what's the team that gets him once the
Shit,
rookie.
come to the Grizz, man. We got a spot for you. Get Jaren
Next
Jackson
to-
the fuck up out of here, and we could get
Are
to
you
some
done?
business. I've been, man. This
You
is
done?
well documented. I've been done with that
You
nigga
said
really
well
since last
documented.
year, but like I'm kind of like up in the ante on this shit. Like I want him gone, bro. Like, if I could write a letter to Zach Kleiman and tell that nigga, yo, it's time, I would. You know what I mean? I might have to do. I might have to type one up though. Like,
Yeah,
shit out
they
of
can't
hand.
trump up his stats at home no more. So now he's being exposed.
That nigga
they
trash. He don't
can't.
grab rebounds. You 6'10" and you average 5 rebounds a game. What the hell is that, bro?
yeah.
Like,
Your
come
starting
for
power
real?
forward should probably average more than 5
This
rebounds a
nigga
game.
Ja averaged more rebounds than Jaren Jackson Jr., bro.
That's a
And
problem.
you know, all of the rebound numbers are up because you know the NBA is more fast paced now.
More shots.
So
Yeah.
there's more shots, which means there's more misses, which means there's more rebounds.
So
right?
what the hell are you doing? Like, this is about effort.
Going on fast break.
What the hell are you doing? Always want to be at the 3-point line and all this shit. Like, you don't give us he don't give us no second chance opportunities. He don't fucking grab no defensive rebound. He got point guards. Oh, man, I don't even want to talk about this nigga.
If he don't block it, he out. He out on a break if he don't block the shot.
He better not fuck this game up tonight. We play at 10 o'clock. We play the Lakers. So
Oh, Lakers need one. This gonna make Lakers need one today.
Shit, we needed more than them. They the team we chasing. So this is a big ass game for real.
Y'all need every game. Every game a big game for y'all, for real.
So yeah. That nigga, yeah, he got to go. I'm mad we even got on the topic of Jaren Jackson Jr. That nigga's trash.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I'm looking at all the rebound leaders. Looks like the leading rebounder for Memphis is Biyombo.
He trash too. That nigga don't give us no offense. Like
Biyombo,
he averaged like 8 rebounds, probably about 8 rebounds a game.
6.5.
That's a damn shame.
That's
the
your
leading
rebounder
on the damn team averages 6 rebounds a game. That's why
Yeah.
we like the worst rebounding team in the league.
Yeah, I don't think I missed anybody, but I'm looking at the stats.
That shit is horrible. Well, I mean, Steven Adams ain't there, but we knew that though. Like we knew that going into the year. That's no excuse for niggas to just not grab no rebounds. Like that's
effort.
Yeah, bro. Like Vince Williams, I like Vince Williams. Like, he a guy like quietly. Like a lot of people don't really know about him, but Vince Williams Jr. is nice. But yeah, these niggas, man, we got to make a trade before the deadline. We just have to. Like, if we don't, we're not making the playoffs if we don't make a trade before the deadline. Somebody got to go. Zaire Williams is the worst player in the NBA. I'm saying it right here, right now. Zaire Williams is
worse than Thanasis. Worse than
nigga,
Thanasis.
Yo, he need to be on the bench with Thanasis, bro. That nigga's trash. Every time we put this nigga in the game, it is the most unproductive shit that you'll ever see, bro. I'm like, why is this nigga on the court?
He's somebody, friend. It gotta be.
He gotta go to the Euro League, bro. He gotta go to the Polish League or something. Like, he gotta go, bro.
Shout out to Dwight Howard playing in Taiwan.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh man. He who shall not be named.
Shout out to Dwight.
So here's the thing with the Grizzlies. Like, when you look at the standings, like, okay, 13 and a half out. They trail the Lakers by 5.5. But you know, they've gained 3 games on the Lakers in the last 10. I think that trend continues. So it is not a lot. It's not that much of a lead when you think about how much better the team is now that Ja's on the team. Like,
we be giving away games. What I noticed about us, man, we don't hoop until we down 20. I don't know what the hell. Like, we get down by 20 every single game. Either we come back and win it at the end, or we just like tease us. Like the other night we played the Raptors. We were down 18 going to the 4, and we had this big gigantic ass run, and we still lose by 5. It's like, why y'all wait till we get down 20 points to start playing basketball? This shit is annoying.
Isn't that coaching a little bit? I guess.
Yeah, understatement. He another nigga I want gone. Him and Jaren are a package deal. They could go together.
Hitting every nerve. That sound like coaching.
Yeah, he need to get traded like John Gruden in them. Or who got traded in the NFL? Tony Dungy and John Gruden. We need to do some shit like that. Like trade that nigga for Pop. Like
nice.
Yeah, so I got one more 1v1.
All right.
Chet Holmgren or Victor Wembanyama.
That's tough. That's a tough one.
I got my answer. I know it.
Go ahead, Chase.
I'm going Victor because his team is actively not built around him yet. They're 5 dudes freestyling out there. Like, so there's a lot of things that's going on with his inefficiencies because there's no real offense being played for him and everything. So he's just doing everything like he's playing with the scraps. They're not really passing him the ball. It's just what he's showing in that kind of situation. If you replace him, Chet, I think is just the more efficient shooter, the better shooter at the current moment. So I do think that. But Wemby on the Thunder goes crazy. That's a crazy combination on his own, like too. So, and then he would have more freedom offensively and more open space. So that shot percentage probably will jump once he has an actual point guard, actual structure. I know that they're tanking for the next pick. It gotta be. Pop seemed like he's not even coaching right now. Pop's got that 6'10" dude playing point guard who look like he's just playing football out there. Sohan or whatever he's called.
That nigga shoot free throws with one hand and shit. Like that shit is weird.
Pop said we're gonna put you at the point so we could get a top 5 pick.
I was watching that shit the other night. I saw this nigga at the line shooting free throws with one hand. What the hell is this?
That's a starting point guard.
That nigga look like Juntile on Rush Hour.
Yeah. I seen something about them bringing in Bol too. Like they just Pop's just doing stuff right now. Like, so I'm gonna take Wemby because I do believe the Chet. It's close. I don't even feel good picking out of them two. It's just good. I was a Chet Holmgren guy the year before. I believed in him the year before, so I'm mad that they both rookies in the same year.
Yeah, I think so these are both unproven players. We haven't seen enough of them to really see what their ceiling is.
Mm-hmm.
Wemby has better numbers on fewer minutes. I think he only plays like 20 minutes a game. Chet plays like 30. Oh no, I'm sorry. He's 29 now. I think they play similar minutes. They both play 29, 30 minutes a game.
I was about to say, if this nigga's playing 20 minutes a game, Pop need to get
I think
fired.
the first few games they were easing him in, but now he's up to like 20 now. His numbers are slightly better. I'm going to pick. So to me, these are players are very similar in terms of the output we've seen so far. So based on what I have seen, I'm going to give the edge to Wemby because the conditions under which he is playing is so much more difficult because he's the face of the franchise at 19 years old. And the hype that he came in with and what he has to play under every night. So it's his game is harder to play than Chet's, and he's performing better. So I'm going to give the edge to Wemby.
Yeah. Yeah, I pretty much echo what y'all said. Like he's in a much more advantageous situation in OKC than Wemby is, and San Antonio is not even, it's night and day. Like we just talked about SGA all this time. Like ain't but so much you have to do. All you gotta do is play your position. Like, whether you spotting up or you taking over the low.
Josh Giddey,
Jalen Williams.
Yeah.
Them niggas is
Lou Dort still playing for them, right?
Yeah, Lou Dort is still good. Yeah,
but also when you think about what these players could be in 5 years if they stay on their trajectories,
it's like
there's no comparison.
They got like Lou Dort's like Luol Deng. Jalen Williams could be like a sheet.
They got what's the other dude? Isaiah Joe. That motherfucker could shoot his ass off. Like they got some players on their team. Like,
Giddey play like Turgaloo.
Nick said Giddey play like that's the craziest comparison I've ever heard in my life.
Hey, watch.
Turgaloo like 6'11".
Hey, that's what it reminds me of. Turgaloo didn't play 6'11".
Shit, he damn sure didn't on the Kings. I'll tell you that shit. Maybe when he went to Orlando, he's probably a little better because he wasn't shit on Sacramento.
That boy Hito, that's one of my favorite Euros, man.
Hito
Shout out
Turkoglu.
Turkoglu. Like, I'm gonna put all my shout
Shout
outs.
out to Hito.
Shout out to Hito.
Word.
Yeah, man. That concludes the 1v1, man. Anything else y'all want to touch on, man? Going in any more bold predictions real quick before we get out of here?
I don't know how bold it is, but the Grizzlies make the playoffs this year. Grizzlies are in the play-in at least. At the very least.
I hope you're right, man. I really believe it. I've been saying it all along. I've been saying that we're gonna make it, but it's like as I'm watching these games, this shit is just
the teams ahead of them: Lakers, Golden State, Utah. Like that's not an insurmountable mountain to jump over those three teams, especially how they're playing right now.
But you know how the league is with the Lakers. They start cheating for them niggas, man. They gonna get LeBron in the playoffs. They be calling all type of crazy shit. I'm telling you, watch it get tight. It's gonna get tight that last like 2-3 weeks of the season. We're gonna be within 2 games, and they're gonna start giving the Lakers all type of calls and shit. Like
the LeBron injury is still coming, in my opinion. It didn't happen early in the season like I thought, but the LeBron injury is coming. It's coming.
Shit, AD injury need to come. Like he done played way too many games. He's starting to scare me.
Yeah, like I'm about to say, how many games he done played? Because
he tired. He tired of all the naysayers, man. AD different this year.
Hoping he's different tonight. He gonna fuck Jaren Jackson up tonight. He gonna kick Jaren Jackson ass tonight. I'm gonna have a front row seat for this.
All right, hold on. What is wrong with this? Oh, I got.
And we on a road trip. This is the first game on our road trip. Boy,
Yeah, he didn't play 33 games already this year.
That's got to be a career high.
He only played 40 in 2022 and 36 in 21. Damn.
So that just means it's coming. Like it's like next week or the week after. It's coming.
My bold prediction is the DeJounte Murray trade, Lakers. They package D'Lo and Rui or some combination of them guys.
You don't have to get rid of Reeves, bro. Come up off Reeves.
I'll take Reeves.
I like his game though, man. I love Austin Reeves' game.
If we have to get rid of Austin Reeves for DeJounte Murray, I think that creates I take it.
I don't know, man.
And then keep Rui off the bench. Rui becomes a 6-man option.
That'll have to be like a straight up thing, though. Like you can't get rid of
straight up in like a pick or whatever, like at the back of the rotation that no one's talking about, like some cash or whatever.
Yeah.
So then further from the trade, and then they get to the Western Conference Finals again.
That's a tough call right there, though.
So it's a double prediction, basically.
I like that. That's a tough call, though. Austin Reeves for DeJounte Murray.
A real point guard, get LeBron off the ball again.
I think that could
shoot.
They're trying to get, they're trying to get Trae Young last year. It was some speculation that they were trying to get Trae Young. So that's probably
young type players with LeBron is a match made in heaven to me. Like I'm just thinking about Mo Gibson. Like
Trae would probably thrive with the Lakers. I ain't gonna lie. They defense would be fucking horrible.
Mo Williams, I mean,
they defense would be horrible if they got Trae Young. Like offensively, they'd be straight, but defense, you already know LeBron don't even play defense no more. He play like half the time he playing defense, and Trae Young has never played defense.
LeBron plays situational defense now, like play.
Yeah. You got to save them legs for the playoffs.
Of course.
38-year-old knees, man. They don't work the same no more.
Yeah. So I think it's Clippers. I know Clippers, Lakers, Western Conference Finals.
This nigga is crazy. That nigga said the Clippers and the Lakers and the if that shit happen, I promise you right now, I give you $1,000 if that shit happen.
All right,
a cyber shake. Pause.
Record this video,
nigga. Yeah, I swear, if that shit happens, you get $1,000 from me, buddy. Gift wrap. I promise you.
Yeah, I really want to know which of those two teams you think is going to beat the Denver Nuggets 4 times. Who's going to beat the Denver Nuggets 4 times?
Yeah, damn sure ain't the Lakers. We saw how that go.
I'm thinking like the Lakers and the Clippers finally have things go right for them health-wise, and all the bad stuff happens to everybody else.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, you going on? That's a different type of limb right there, boy.
There's always some sort of
There you
injury
go.
storyline in the league. There always is. So I'm just like
And
reversing.
it's
Because-
usually
that's because
concerning AD and Kawhi.
Anthony Davis is always injured, and so is Kawhi.
Right.
Always.
It's their year, man. They gonna be right. Kawhi look like
Right.
he's healthy and balling right now. Like
He looked like he
look
healthy and
sturdy.
balling. He did last year in the playoffs too, until Game 3 rolled around. That nigga mysteriously is done.
That's Zaza Pachulia's fault. Started all that mess.
It's just the problem is that you have
Five injury playing.
You have 4 stars, right? So you got 4 future Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
3 of them are players that really, let me say it like this. James Harden is not a system player.
He said
Didn't he say that he is the system? So
I love that quote.
So, but if you're not the best player on the team, you can't be the system, right? Mm-hmm. Now, we've seen how Kawhi has, he played within a system in San Antonio before he got unleashed, right? We know PG can play within a system.
So who's the best player on the Clippers? Just asking real quick. Like who?
I think it's Kawhi far and away.
Right. I'm talking
Kawhi
about
far and away.
At this stage, you think he better than Paul
Kawhi
George?
Leonard. Yeah, Kawhi far and away. Because the only question mark you put over Kawhi is his injuries. But that's the same question mark you have for Paul George. So, but when all those players are healthy, there's no question who the best player is. There's no question who the first option is. Well, James Harden might question who the first option is. But
Russ too.
The rest of us know.
Russ too. Russ said he the first option.
Well, I mean, so again, why this doesn't work, because you got players that aren't system players, right?
Clippers in the Western Conference Final.
Chase, man. You be setting
right,
yourself up. You be setting yourself up with this shit, boy.
Yo,
I'm just saying the Lakers have to make the playoffs first. That's all I'm saying. Like,
hot takes.
They've been
TV,
they're in the 10 seed now, and they've been healthy all year. Just saying.
A couple of my takes have been fucking awful. I ain't gonna I'm glad y'all ain't bought a couple of mine back up, because I
don't even remember. I'm old.
I had who was it? I had the Hornets making the playoffs. Them niggas
they look pretty bad.
And then I had San Antonio getting a play in. Them niggas have won like 5
I thought
games.
That too. I didn't know Pop was gonna do it like that. I thought Pop was gonna actually try to coach.
I thought they was gonna be a little better than that. Like, God, 5 games?
It's intentional sabotage. It's intentional.
I think we anticipated Wemby's impact to be more than what it is.
Yeah,
the problem is,
I definitely
you can't have a David Robinson level of impact if you're not dominant defensively, right? It's just hard for one player to turn a whole team around like that if you can't dominate defensively, right? So
I don't think he dominated defensively, but he's very good defensively, though.
He's very good defensively, but he's not a game changer the way that Larry Bird. When people talk about single man turnover, like game flip or season flips, they talk about David Robinson and Larry Bird, right? So like he's not that level of player at this point in his career. So,
man, he had that block on Giannis last night. It's pretty.
Oh no, listen. I'm not taking anything away from Mr. Wembanyama. I'm gonna put a Mr. on his name, even though I'm old enough to be his granddaddy almost. Mr. Wembanyama is the truth.
That nigga is young enough to be my son. I'm an old nigga now. Like,
yeah.
I'm 37. That nigga's 19. Like, 19, he could really be my kid.
Yep.
That's crazy.
We at that generation now where like NBA players could be our kids.
That's crazy.
All the guys we talked about today is younger than us, except for LeBron.
Well,
our peers all of them are younger than me.
Steph and
LeBron barely older than me. LeBron only older than me by like 2 years.
LeBron's our peer.
Like,
right.
Damn. Well, yeah. I'm 45, so yeah.
Kicking it with Draymond.
That nigga Draymond gray. That nigga like 30. 33, and he got a full gray beard. Like, why you look older than me? Like,
that's Saginaw, Michigan.
Yeah, that nigga look crazy.
Indeed.
But yeah, this has been a great show, fellas. It's a good one.
Indeed. Good time.
Yeah, man. Always glad to have y'all, man. Whenever y'all want to come back and do more episodes, we got topics now because we went through some shit tonight that I'm gonna have to remember. Put in my
Yep.
note. But
Indeed.
yeah, dope conversation tonight, man.
Oh.
As always, everybody like, share, subscribe. This is Fly Free Sports. Ben with me, Chase with me. I am Fly Free CT, and we are signing off. Yes, sir.